Put on your 3D glasses now to make the video invisible. Hey guys. Recently we watched the newest Marvel project, which is I guess what we call them now. Marvel's newest thing that should have been a movie, but then got stretched out to 6 hours, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So Aiden, what's the plot of Falcon and the Winter Soldier? This is spoilers, by the way.
At the very end of all the Marvel bullshit that's happened so far.
Yes.
Falcon is doing stuff, saving people. Winter Soldier he's sad because he killed some people or something. Talks to his therapist. And there's a group of Somali terrorists, refugees who go around blowing people up for no reason. And something, racism, refugees, something. The army elects a new Captain America who's some army guy. They punch people. They talk about things. They team up with Baron Zemo for a while, and then they decide that he's an asshole and put him back in jail. So Connor, what do you think of Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, at its core, has the same problem as Scarlet Witch and the Vision, but not in the same way. Scarlet Witch and the Vision very much has a cutoff where it goes from something creative and interesting and different into something more bland. This is supposed to be more of your typical Marvel action show, and the problem is when it tries to do different things, it fails, and when it sticks to the Marvel shit, it works pretty well as a Marvel project, and at times even excels to be above average, but then there's a lot of moments that are way under average. So, I guess I'll break this down by elements, because there's a lot to unpack here.
There's a lot of shit going on.
I mostly like everything that goes on with Sam and Bucky. The characters are consistent and keep going in a logical way.
Sam's not consistent.
Sam's
a fucking nut job in this.
Sam has his nut job moments for sure. But Sam is written in a way where several times he's supposed to have character revelations that don't really show. We don't understand how he had the revelations. Bucky is just kind of a non-character. Like, there's pretty much no good reason for him to even be in this show. It could have easily just been Falcon.
He feels bad about killing the Asian guy's son.
Yeah, I mean, Bucky kind of has an arc, but it's more just like, he's a Captain America character, so we'll loop him in here. I like John Walker sometimes, but much like Falcon, this character is inconsistent. Because at times he's Mr. Bad Cop Racist guy. At times he's sympathetic because of his time in the war.
I have no fucking idea.
At times he's a stupid asshole, and times he's like a conniving villain. Sometimes he's unwittingly. It's very inconsistent.
He's all over the place. One second he's fucking killing some terrorists and everyone hates him and they don't want to work with him, and then all of a sudden he just changes his mind and becomes a good guy again.
Yeah. I don't really mind the shit with Isaiah Bradley, the Captain America clone.
That stuff's fine.
I think it resonates. It's kind of like a reverse arc of Falcon's, which works. Even though I don't think Falcon's arc always works. But I don't mind it. My big issue... Oh, I like Zemo too. I thought Zemo was always fun, and I like that they're doing something different with Sharon Carter. And by doing something different, I mean actually establishing a character for her and not just being like, she's generic good guy. Not that they really did much with it yet, but presumably if there's a season 2 or a new Captain America movie with starring Falcon, she'll be used or something.
They have set up for...
They have set up for something in the future. I really thought Carly, the main villain, and the Flag Smashers were fucking awful.
They're fucking horrible.
They're fucking terrible. Carly is the girl who is the rebel in Han Solo.
Yep, she plays the same character.
She plays the same character.
Same twist, same character, but the twist isn't pulled off nearly as well.
But here they're like, Falcon the whole time is like, Carly's sympathetic, we have to give her another chance. And like U.S. Agent, or I guess Captain America at the point, John Walker, is like, no, we have to take her down because she's an evil terrorist. And the show shows us nothing but Carly's an evil terrorist. And anytime
blows
someone
people up, sets people on fire,
and
shoots
Falcon's like, all I need to do is talk to her, and I can get through to her. And he talks to her, and she's like, "Fuck you," and then like kills like 20 people. And then Falcon's like, "She's a good person at heart." We literally never see this. When she dies, I'm like, good. This character's a fucking asshole. Literally just evil. And the show just says, actually though, like, she's a good guy. And there'll be like there's like a couple scenes where she's like giving candy to children or something and being like, we are making sure this school is safe. And then everything else is just her like killing people.
Awkward.
And it just doesn't work. And then this all resonates after she dies, where Falcon like gives this big address about how it's sad that she died, even though she started like a hate group basically.
It's white people's fault because they didn't give enough money to refugees, which made them into terrorists.
Yes. And
something.
His speech was so, I mean, the speech was terrible and cheesy, but the speech is so inspiring in universe that the senators all changed their mind and like literally everything's just fixed. Like, it takes any weight away from the message of the show that, like, society has problems and there's corruption in the government. It's like the overarching theme of the show. And what we learn is, I mean, from my perspective, and correct me if I just wasn't watching the show enough, but from my perspective, John Walker was right and Carly was a terrible terrorist and we never saw otherwise.
Yes.
It could have been solved from the start if they just helped John Walker instead of fucking off the whole time. And then Falcon basically causes Carly's death and then says it was really like the senators and shit that caused the death. That's what I got from it. And then he says an inspiring speech and he's Captain America.
That's essentially what it is, because
I don't
the whole
have
thing
a problem
is
with Falcon as Captain America. I think that's kind of a cool idea and can lead to cool story ideas. Especially, you know, I mean, Chris Evans is gone, do something different, but
the first 4 episodes of the show are Falcon and Winter Soldier being ass hurt that they didn't get picked to be the new Captain America.
No, Winter Soldier's ass hurt because Sam's like, I don't want to be Captain America. Then he gives up the shield and he's like, actually, I kind of wish I was Captain America.
Yeah, okay, whatever. But a good portion of the show is just them being ass hurt that this other guy is Captain America, which just like Sam's just running around trying to talk to the terrorists while she's murdering people and just not being helpful.
Right.
And like,
you know what the failure of the show is when you boil it down? The show wants you to say, well, the idea is that John Walker's the good guy, but really he's a bad guy, and Carly's a bad guy, but she's really the good guy. And that's what the show wants you to think. But we never really see John Walker do anything evil. I mean, he kills the one guy after his partner gets killed, and he's like a soldier that's like, you know, he's like a paid soldier, and these people are terrorists, so he like pretty much had authorization to kill the guy. And then when he kills the guy, everyone gets ass hurt about it. So I guess that was like the only really morally gray thing, but at the same time, in previous movies, and MCU movies, like Iron Man comes down, kills 50 terrorists, nobody gives a shit.
Yeah,
Captain America runs through, kills 50 fucking American agents that turned out to be secret Nazis, no one cared.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, this Captain America kills one guy, and we're supposed to be like, he's evil?
Well, yeah,
and then after that moment, he goes from like a smart guy who... And they just show like a sympathetic side of U.S. Agent, so I think you're supposed to be like, it's so morally gray, like I'm supposed to hate this guy. But I never really find a point to develop where I don't understand his motivation or think he's like gone too far. Because Carly goes further than him, so I don't understand how he's a bad guy. Like honestly, like I mean, I guess he takes the superhero syndrome, which like I guess he
Carly also did.
Carly also did. I guess that makes him bad because he wanted to be Captain America so bad, but he's not Captain America, I guess. But then Falcon wants to be Captain America, but it's fine. I mean, I don't get it. Like I don't understand why we're supposed to hate John Walker, other than the characters don't like him for pretending to be Captain America.
John Walker's exceptionally weird because like
I was like most invested in the John Walker stuff.
Outside of him killing the one terrorist, like he seems to be a pretty good guy, and like pretty much all the issues that he has actually doing his job are because Falcon and Winter Soldier fucking their ass hurt at him.
Yeah.
And keep getting in his way when he's trying to do his shit.
And he's like, hey, why don't you guys help me out? Like, be sensible. We can work together and try to capture her. I guess there's a point where he jumped the gun and, like, broke in there trying to capture her when Falcon was talking to her. But, like, Falcon talked to her, like, 10 times and never got through to her. So I think he was in the right.
Yeah, but, I mean...
The show just, like, emotionally
even
tries
at
to
the end,
manipulate
like,
you.
John Walker kills the terrorist and he gets fired from being Captain America and everyone's like, he's a huge asshole. And then during the big, stupid CGI battle that is the last episode, he
saves
instead of attacking the terrorist, he saves a bus full of people single-handedly while everyone else is fucking around doing nothing,
he
just standing in a dirt pit.
Respected that Sam Wilson became Captain America and didn't like try to steal the shield from him. He could have had an asshole moment where he's like, "You stole the shield from me" or something.
The show even
took it back.
When he's saving that bus full of people,
they act like
he drops the shield and it's all like dented up and it's like him just giving up the shield entirely.
And then like
we're still supposed to think he's a horrible asshole because
they literally don't write him to be a horrible asshole. He's probably the least of an asshole in the entire show.
He's the only character who's even remotely sensible.
And then Sam Wilson is just the biggest dumbass in the entire show because he just does stupid shit the whole time. Because he keeps ruining the mission. He just like kills so many people like by proxy because he won't stop Carly the whole time. When honestly the show could have been done in one episode. And the moral nuance that they want to show of like people are oppressed out here and stuff just doesn't really land when the people who like they don't want to like put him in a bad light, but then he like I guess he like joins the evil Avengers with Seinfeld lady or something, but I don't think he knows it's evil because after his friend dies and he kills the terrorist, John Walker suddenly becomes the biggest dumbass in the world when the show says it's convenient, which doesn't really make sense because he's like a sensible guy and like a pretty good warrior up to that point.
Yeah.
I mean, effectively, once he gets the super soldier serum, he's just also exactly this. He's a similar character to Chris Evans, except perhaps more nuanced and realistic.
I mean,
he's the best character in the show. He's like the parts where I was most interested. Yeah. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I liked like the Isaiah stuff because I thought like the Isaiah Bradley stuff. Like, oh, that's an interesting point. That was probably the best. That was probably the best show on race. That was probably the best stuff addressing like racism and class divide in this entire show.
Yeah, the rest of it's
everything
horrible.
else is just cheesy and like if only like a guy will stand up. And then the writers themselves compare fucking Falcon to Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. And I'm like, because he made a cheesy speech that caused the senators to realize that they were big meanie heads. And how does he earn the senators' respect? Because he takes the Captain America shield and flies around and does his normal Falcon shit with his Captain America shield, and they're like, maybe he's not a bad Captain America after all. And that's the whole thing.
Yep.
Like the only character with any like nuance or arc is U.S. Agent the whole time. Yeah. So like the character they're supposed to demonize, and anytime Carly was on screen, I just checked out because first off, I think the actress sucks. I think the character's annoying. They don't write her well enough to not be a villain. They write her to be a mustache-twirling supervillain, but they say she's a good guy.
She's fucking horrible.
They say she's a good guy because her motives are to literally free refugee camps. But I don't understand what she's actually trying to do. Like there was a vote in progress to kill refugees or something.
No, there's a vote in progress to send refugees back to their home countries. And she gets ass hurt, so she starts killing a bunch of random people.
And then Falcon just says,
you guys shouldn't send these refugees back. And the senators say that, why do we have to take care of them? It's not our problem, which, true, fair. And he brings up the point, he's like, half the world's population just came back into existence a year ago, and we have a lot of other things to deal with besides taking care of these random people. And I was like, yeah, okay, I can see that from the senator. And then Falcon starts going on, and he's like, don't you think it's really sad that these terrorists were driven to terrorism by your actions? And I'm like, I really struggle to feel empathy for people who are blowing up fucking orphanages and shit.
Yeah, they're like just killing everybody. And
they're
then,
horrible people. The terrorists are not good people.
And then
but we're supposed to feel for them
climax,
simply. We're supposed to feel for the terrorists simply because they're minorities, I guess.
See, and the other terrorists,
that's the only empathetic thing about them.
Here was a big part where Carly's character broke down. You could have... They were setting up a character arc for her the whole time, and in the final episode, all of her friends are like, actually, don't you think this is kind of fucked up? And she's like, no, we have to do what we have to do. And all her friends are like, I don't know about this. Maybe I'm starting to realize, like, there might be, like, more sensible ways to go about this. So even the villains, you know, and I mean, these characters aren't super well fleshed out, but they're like, we kind of all just, like, get, like, a lot of us have been, like, killed, and, like, our methods don't seem to really be working, and this is kind of fucked up. And she's like, I don't care, let's just kill him because we need our thing. And it's like, well, like, the other people are being, like, sensible. And they're like, we can go through legal means or whatever. And then Zemo, like, car bombs them or something.
It's okay that they're terrorists because they're oppressed.
I guess. I really don't know.
That's the message of the show, I guess.
And it's and, like, even, like, that last speech where it's like, maybe we have to give power back to the people. And corporate monopolies are bad. Like, this is sweet coming from Disney, this cheesy-ass speech.
Yeah, it's
like,
rough.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff I do like. I think, like, Falcon and Winter Soldier's relationship works most of the time. Falcon's a bit of a dumbass, but I do like the character of Sam Wilson, even though I don't think he's incredibly well written. I like Anthony Mackie. I like Sebastian Stan. They held the show up really well.
Yeah.
I really liked Wyatt Russell as U.S. Agent.
Yeah.
I liked...
it was very good.
I thought there was a lot of aspects of this show that really worked. And I think if they didn't have the most dogshit villain, or if they just wrote the villain better, or made it more sensible, like, there was actually decent commentary on the show's overall themes, like that Isaiah Bradley stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
But then you just completely minimize it when you fail to write this character that is supposed to be seen by the audience as a good person, even though she's a bad guy. And you fail to demonize this person who's supposed to be a good guy, but is actually kind of a bad guy, is what we're supposed to feel. But honestly, I don't see much of a distinction between U.S. Agent and Captain America. The original, like Steve Rogers versus John Walker. And I think there was supposed to be a dichotomy where it's like, Steve has the good heart, that's why he's a good guy. But John Walker is a pretty good guy.
Walker.
And the show just, Sam and Bucky don't like him, so that's the problem.
Yeah,
and then at the end, they kind of grow to like him anyways, because he helps him in the climax.
In the last, like, 3 scenes after he saves the fucking bus, they just start chilling out with him, and they're like, yeah, it's cool. Now that I'm the Captain America.
Honestly, like...
that I'm the Captain America, it's okay if you hang out with us, you know?
Basically.
Like, we got our way, and so, yeah.
So, yeah, it's cool. I also thought, like, if you're trying to make him, like... Honestly, like, if the idea was to make him, like, corrupt cop type character, giving him, like, the black sidekick to be like, well, he's not racist, but they're, like, still best friends. Like, his best friend's, like, a black dude. He's a down-to-earth, nice guy. Like, I don't see why we were supposed to hate U.S. Agent. He never, at any point, abuses his power to the point where you're like, whoa, he crossed the line there, more than, like, Captain America, who will throw a shield and fucking smash someone's head in.
I think
you're supposed... There's the one point where he gets revenge, which I think was, like, a character moment, but instead of paying off that arc, they kind of dropped the ball on the character and just made him a stupid asshole after that.
Yeah, I mean, call me insensitive, but when he kills the fucking terrorist, I do not feel any empathy for the terrorist.
No, I mean, first off, he kills John Walker's sidekick, who's a character we've kind of liked for the last few episodes. He seems like a nice guy. I mean, we don't learn a ton about him, but he's a good enough character. And then he's killed by this fucking asshole terrorist, and you don't like these fucking terrorists because you never understand why they're supposed to be good. You understand that this show tells you they're good, but if you actually, like, look at the emotions the show plays into and how the show's written, they've severely failed to make any of the villains really that empathetic. So honestly, I thought it was kind of a badass moment with fucking John Walker smashing his face in. But that's just me. Like, what was he expected to do, honestly? I thought it was a pretty poignant character moment. He's also like a trained soldier, so he probably killed plenty of people. He killed one guy as Captain America, and they were like, "Isn't he such a bad guy?" When Steve Rogers killed, I want to go through the movies and count how many dozens of people Steve Rogers massacred.
I mean, I'm sure.
John Walker probably has less of a kill count than fucking Falcon, because he used to run around with his little machine guns killing everybody.
Yep.
Probably in this show, he has the least kill count of all the main heroes. John Walker.
I mean, Falcon.
So, I don't understand.
Falcon bodies at least one dude when he throws that guy out of the helicopter.
Well, I was gonna say, like, that's at the end of the show, but in that first scene in the airplane, I'm pretty sure he killed all those fuckers, because he was like throwing them out, no parachute and shit.
That's true.
And shooting them with guns.
Falcon
and
killed
crap.
a fucking bunch.
So I don't understand.
The only person who's not out here killing everyone is Winter Soldier.
And like the whole time, the only reason we know that he's not good enough for the Shield is because everyone says he's not good enough for the Shield.
Everyone says it should be me instead, actually.
And fucking John Walker has an internal doubt the whole time about his worthiness of the Shield, but then he pretty much has a character arc that shows maybe he actually could have been a good Captain America, but whatever. And then they become friends.
But Falcon and Winter Soldier got in the way constantly and ruined his life.
Yeah, actually, basically, Falcon the Winter Soldier just ruined
got his partner killed.
And then Falcon failed to save fucking Carly anyways. And Carly never had a redemption arc, so the entire time when the show was telling us you should actually like Carly the whole time, that was just stupid. And every scene Carly was in where she just complained about how she wanted to kill everybody.
So sad when Carly almost shot the Falcon in the face and got shot instead. She was redeeming herself. She was turning her life around.
And then, like, every scene, like, there were all these scenes where it's, like, at the cemetery and someone will, like, walk up to her and she'll be like, do you think what we're doing is right? Then he's like, yeah, maybe this is actually fucked up. I think you're right, Carly. And then she's like, we can't be failures at our mission. It was just so stupid.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It was honestly, yeah. Carly ruins the show, totally, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, Aiden, what did you think of Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Well, outside of everything we already said, one of my big things with the show is that there's just like a fuck ton of setup for the inevitable second season. This show kind of just feels like a trailer for the second season. Like you have these messages that all fall flat about like refugee terrorists are okay because they're oppressed or something. I don't know. It's okay, whatever. But then like the U.S. agent, whatever his name is, John Walker. John Walker's kind of just like there to set up U.S. agent for the second season.
And now, you know, in the second season, he's just going to be a total fucking villain.
Yeah, he's going to become a total villain. He meets the girl from fucking Seinfeld like 5 times. Not even that, it's like 2. And she's like, you'll be the U.S. agent now. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to become evil in the next season.
Yeah, he becomes like optimistic and mentally challenged in the last like 3 episodes. Like every time she's talking to him, he literally, like I don't know if they had like I don't even understand.
And
how
also,
the show was written.
to really
also she's bad in this
to really make
Seinfeld lady as evil Nick Fury.
To really make sure we know U.S. agent isn't racist, not only does he have a black partner, best friend, but he also has a black girlfriend.
Right. All signs pointing to not racist and not a bad guy at all.
But then he's a racist because he killed a terrorist. I guess.
Who was white.
Yeah, well, he was like some kind of Mexican.
So I don't understand what the commentary is with John Walker. Are we supposed to just not like either. John Walker because he's white?
But then
like, I don't want to be the guy to pull that card. But I feel like
he's a white man in authority. He's an authoritarian white figure.
But we were supposed to still like Steve Rogers.
Yes, and we're supposed to like a black man who's in an authority.
Like Steve Rogers.
It's okay when black people are in positions of authority that gives them a free pass to murder people at will. But when it's a white person, it's bad. And when terrorists are black, it's okay.
Well, the terrorists were all the whole rainbow. There was whites and Asians and whoever. See, they really wanted
the show might as well have called them Somalian refugees because we all know that's what it is. It's like
it's getting awful based.
I mean, that's what it is. Because like, you know, I'm not saying all Somalian refugees are terrorists, but you know,
I think it's refugees.
That's like the idea. It's like
I was honestly thinking.
Well, the thing is, it's like everyone always thinks of Somalian refugees as like coming over to Europe and being terrorists and whatnot. And they're like, these are Somalian refugees, but they come from all colors of the rainbows, and they're not, and they're all terrorists, but they're good guys because
I thought they were talking about the
sad or
Mexican
something.
border wall or something, basically. I thought they were like, you're locking up children or some shit.
I don't know anymore. Anyway, the
He
other part...
definitely wants to have an anti-racist message without actually, like,
fucking...
doing anything with it. Very diverse.
Captain America's daughter is, like, evil. And...
No, that's not his daughter.
Isn't it?
That's his niece. He was macking on her in Winter Soldier because he's like, I want to fuck my
I thought the implication
lovers.
at the end of Endgame was that he went
No,
back in time
well,
and boinked.
That's
fucking-
like that's like Peggy's niece, but the implication it's like his daughter's cousin, I guess.
Okay.
Because he has like the kids or something. I don't know. Who cares? But it's like, yeah.
Whatever. His fucking Captain America's niece shows up and she's like, I'm still on the run from something. I don't remember what happened.
She's
in
like,
Winter
I think
Soldier
it was.
with her.
I think it was like the fucking Civil War or some shit. She's still on the run for that.
She's
shit.
on the run.
See, you know what
but
I hate
actually-
about that? She's like the only character that's on the run because, like, in Civil War, all
Everyone
the
else
heroes
gets
get
pardoned
locked up, and you're like, oh my god. And then in Infinity War,
There's like
there's like 10 minutes where they're like on the run or something, and then Captain America like throws a shield at one of the 5 guys, and they're like actually like every fucking superhero's exonerated from their crimes.
Yeah. So anyway, she's secretly like a arms dealer who sells people the super serum and secretly funded the Flag Smashers or something. They kind of just throw it at you in the last like 10 minutes of the last episode.
Yes.
And then, for whatever reason, she goes to the U.S. government building, and they say, not only are you innocent, but you get your job back immediately. No interview, you just get it back because you're such a cool.
Well, Sam
good
Wilson
lady.
gave him a striking speech because Sam Wilson's like, I have connections in the government, so if you help us, I'll get you exonerated. So I
And
guess
then-
Sam Wilson just gave such a hell of a speech to him.
As she's walking out of the building, she picks up her phone, and she's in front of the government building where she just had her court trial and got her job back. And she picks up the phone, and she's like, yeah, I'm going to sell government secrets and weapons because I'm evil. Bye. And hangs up. So it's all just like, there's just like setup for season 2. Very blatant forced setup in season 2 that all just comes at the end.
Yes.
And it's tiring. It's already tiring. It's
Yeah.
already tiring.
Honestly, breaking this show down, it's pretty bad.
So yeah, I mean that's all I really had to add. We covered a lot of it in that first segment. Would you recommend?
This is one last little nitpick. I really hope if when they go on into the future with this franchise, change up Falcon's Captain America suit.
Yeah, it
they
looks
did the
horrible.
1-for-1 from the one in the comics.
Yeah.
And it looked like shit then. It looks like shit now.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do to it. I think part of it's that like half mask. Part of it might be that they just made it look super cheap. But you gotta do something about that super suit because it looks like shit.
Anyway, I think the parts where Falcon and Winter Soldier are just like hanging out talking are pretty nice. The action is decent.
The action in that last episode was really bad, honestly.
The
All
action in the last
shaky
episode
cam
is
shit.
horrible.
It's like pitch
Some of
black
the other
with
action
shaky
is better.
cam.
There's some okay fights in there.
Yeah, there's a lot. Most of the fights I thought were good, except that last episode where they set it in pitch black
And the whole thing is just Falcon flying around punching helicopters or
and
something.
the excess of shaky cam.
Winter Soldier really doesn't have a lot to do in this show.
No, he really doesn't. Like,
It's basically the Falcon show.
I wish they.
Winter Soldier kind of just like fucks around, sometimes talks to people.
He's like, we're in this together, and then Falcon's like, you're right about that.
He's like Falcon's cheerleader.
I don't like you, but we're in this together. That's the whole show.
Anyway,
Even though like Winter Soldier really, neither of them really have to be there because it was really John Walker's mission. They just kept getting in the way. I don't know why the government never arrested him. And then they like broke out Zemo and all that shit.
yeah,
They really just
fucking
did
horrible
nothing.
people.
They didn't do anything really helpful.
No, they were assholes. They got John Walker's partner killed
John,
for being fucking assholes.
John Walker and his partner had them tracked in the second episode.
John
So,
Walker.
like, we tracked these terrorists.
If Falcon and the Winter Soldier stayed at home and beat off
This would've been
fucking
solved
John
after
Walker
one
and this
episode.
dude, John Walker and fucking
'Cause-
Black Bucky would have had this
Now,
shit
I don't
wrapped up
remember
in an episode and a
100%.
half.
I don't remember this 100%, but wasn't the only reason John Walker kind of fucked over in that first episode because he had to like save the Falcon by like throwing the Captain America shield and that
It was
like got
'cause
him jumped?
Fucking, they were fighting on top of those moving trucks.
Right.
And Winter Soldier fell off and Falcon had to go save him.
Okay.
And then fucking John Walker had to do something to save both of them because they were being dumbasses. And if they just hadn't showed up, the whole thing would have been wrapped up like 20 minutes into the first episode. Everyone could have gone home.
Yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier really did just fuck it up.
John Walker's partner would be alive, you know.
And then like half the show could have been done in like this easily could have been a movie and worked 100 times better. But
Yeah.
like half this show is
You just cut
like,
out the scenes where it's like fucking Falcon looking at his sister's houseboat and fucking wandering around in the woods and like fucking
he'll like go on a
clipping
mission,
his toenails and whatever
he'll
the
be
fuck.
like, this has been like a really deadly mission. This is really bad. We have to do some more investigating. and then Winter Soldier's like, I'm gonna investigate off camera. You go do something. And then Falcon goes back to his houseboat and is like working on it and like eating crawfish or whatever. And then the Winter Soldier just shows up and he's like caught the early flight. It's like, damn, how many times are you gonna fly to Louisiana? Just call this fucking asshole. Why does Falcon fly from Louisiana? Maybe you want to stick together while you're trying to solve this big conspiracy, you fucking asshole.
Also, there's like a bunch of
Don't they live at the Avengers headquarters?
There's
or
a bunch of
whatever?
weird
that got
shit,
fucking
too.
nuked. I forgot about that.
there's a bunch of weird shit too. Like during the first and second episodes, they have this subplot where fucking Winter Soldier's trying to boink some fucking Asian bartender, and then
that's
it's
dropped.
just forgotten about. It's just
And
like
then he starts
not
trying to
brought up.
boink Falcon's sister, and that's also dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Falcon, honestly, like with the like lack of things he has to do in this show, except for his therapy appointments and like making amends for killing an Asian guy's son at the start, like he really like they had to give him something else. I honestly think he should have the getting pussy subplot because
Sometimes he
they
punches
acted
people.
like they were gonna like give him like an emotional like subplot at least.
Yeah, he
But
doesn't have
all
anything to
Winter
do.
Soldier has to do is punch people. They could when they developed this show, it was clear that the writers and the
was
whole
the Falcon
creative
show.
team did not give two fucks about the Winter Soldier.
It was the Falcon.
But the
show, yeah.
the problem is the Falcon. I don't think the Falcon sells on his own. The Falcon, like I don't have anything against the character of the Falcon, but if it wasn't Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it's not much of a hook because Falcon's super wings are fucking lame. Winter Soldier's
The
cool
fucking
because he's
bird
just
guy.
super strong like Captain America, but instead of a shield, he's got a special metal arm.
I mean,
It's a
Falcon is
badass
basically
superpower, and he's a badass character because he's like an evil fucking sleeper cell. Like, there's a lot to explore with Winter Soldier. They just didn't get around to because Falcon was crawfishing and whatever the fuck else.
Falcon.
Eating crawfish.
Falcon is basically a worse version of Harvey Birdman, attorney at law. He's got the wings and he's got the being boring, but he doesn't even have being a lawyer on his side.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, would you recommend Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
If you watch the Marvel shows or watch the Marvel shit, you've already seen it. If you're not into Marvel, this isn't gonna change your mind. It's nothing too nuanced or special. There's some cool moments. I wanted to like the show more than I actually ended up liking the show because I like Captain America and I like most of the Captain America movies quite a bit. But this really wasn't it. So Aiden, what did you think of Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
It's not the right question.
So Aiden, would you recommend Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Probably not. It's dull. It's very disorganized in its messaging. It's cluttered.
It tells you the messaging out loud instead of actually portraying it.
Yes.
They tell you the opposite of what the message is.
They tell you the opposite
They
of
tell
what
you
they
the
show you,
opposite of what
and they
they
say,
show you.
"Yep, this is what's up."
It's a show that's tell, not show. I guess if you're stupid,
yeah,
you're just
I
gonna
mean-
buy into it.
I'm sure anyone who was going to watch this has already watched it. As far as it goes, I would not recommend watching it if you somehow haven't, because it is a mess.